kill notification flashed across my screen in blood. Red letters. Reaper has eliminated Fiend 1X. Fuck. I slammed my fist on the desk, my webcam shaking as my chat exploded with emotes. My heart pounded in my ears as I watched my character, ragdoll body, tumble off the cliff in slow motion. 3 seconds. That bastard had killed me in 3 seconds. Flat. Chat, did you see that? I ran my fingers through my messy red hair, leaning closer to the monitor. He predicted exactly where I'd dodge. It is like he is reading my mind. The chat scrolled past at lightning speed. Reaper is a god. Kai got destroyed. Lamau. 16-2. This is brutal. I bit my lip, watching the kill replay. Reaper as Avatar. A sleek black assassin with glowing purple accents, moved with inhuman precision. Every shot was calculated, every movement deliberate. But what really got under my skin was the message that popped up in all. Chat, Reaper too slow. Phoenix, maybe stream less and practice more. My cheeks burned. Oh, you did not just say that. I cracked my knuckles, grinning at the camera despite my frustration. All right, chat. Next round, I am going to make him eat those words. Nobody talks trash to Kai Rivers and gets away with it. The thing was, Reaper had been haunting my streams for 3 months now. Whenever I played ranked, there he was, either on the enemy team destroying me or on my team carrying so hard it made me look incompetent. My viewers loved the rivalry. Clips of our encounters got hundreds of thousands of views. Fiend 1X versus Reaper had become my brand, but I had never heard his voice, never seen his face. He only communicated through text, always with that same arrogant, mocking tone that made my blood boil and my pulse race in equal measure. Reaper. Going again. I have time to humble you once more. That is it, I shouted, queuing up immediately. I am going to destroy this cocky son of A. My phone alarm cut me off. 11:30 p.m. school tomorrow. I groaned, slumping in my chair. Okay, chat, I have to end stream, but I will get my revenge. Mark my words. Reaper. Reign of terror ends soon. I blew a kiss to the camera, flashing my signature smile. Phoenix out. Monday morning. Hit me like a truck. ID stayed up until 2 a.m. analyzing Reaper. Gameplay. Trying to find weaknesses. Spoiler alert. He didn't. T seemed to have any. I stumbled into homeroom with a coffee in hand, my green eyes barely open. The classroom buzzed with the usual morning chaos. Mika was showing off her new phone case. Tyler was frantically copying homework, and my gaze caught on the figure in the back corner. Noel Graves, the transfer student who joined our class 2 weeks ago. He sat perfectly still, a book open in front of him, black hair falling across his face. Even from across the room, I could see his unusual eyes, a striking purple that ID initially thought were colored contacts. He never looked up, never engaged, just existed in his own quiet bubble. Dude, you are staring, Mika whispered, elbowing me as I slid into my seat. I am not staring, I whispered back. I am observing. There is a difference. Sure, she smirked. You've been observing him for 2 weeks. I had tried talking to Noel a few times. Each attempt ended the same way. Polite nods, one-word answers, then back to his book. It was like talking to a brick wall. A really pretty brick wall. But still, he is just so boring, I muttered, taking a sip of my coffee. Like, how can someone be that quiet? It is unnatural. Maybe he is shy, or maybe he thinks he is too good for us. I shrugged. pushing Noel out of my mind. I had more important things to worry about, like figuring out how to beat Reaper. The week crawled by in a blur of classes, streams, and increasingly brutal matches against Reaper. By Friday, my win rate against him was a humiliating 3-17. My chat was having a field day. Then came the announcement that changed everything. Breaking, Winter Tournament, announces Team Shuffle Mode. I read aloud during my stream. Top 100 players will be randomly assigned to teams for the qualifying rounds. Voice chat mandatory. My heart stopped. Wait, voice chat mandatory? I scrolled through the details, my mind racing. This meant I am going to hear Reaper's voice. I whispered. The chat exploded. OMG, yes. Finally. Reaper voice reveal. Bet he sounds like a 40-year-old man, lol. The qualifying round was scheduled for Sunday evening. I spent the entire weekend practicing, theory crafting, and trying to mentally prepare myself for whatever Reaper sounded like. Sunday arrived too quickly. I booted up the game at 6 p.m. sharp, my hands slightly shaky as I joined the voice channel. 3 other players were already there, making small talk. Then, Team S full. Let S get this over with. My blood froze. That voice, deep, slightly bored, with a faint edge of arrogance. I knew that voice. Hello, Phoenix, you there? Another teammate asked. I could speak. My mind was racing through every interaction, every quiet moment, every time I heard that exact same tone. Just start without him if he is AFK, Reaper said dismissively. And no, I am here. I finally managed. Just technical difficulties. We started the match. I played on autopilot, my mind elsewhere. That voice. It could TP. It was impossible. But the more Reaper spoke, calling out enemy positions, coordinating strategies, occasionally throwing in a sarcastic comment, the more certain I became. Noel Graves, quiet, boring, antisocial Noel Graves was Reaper. The match ended. We won. Barely. I immediately logged off and grabbed my phone, my hands shaking. This had to be a coincidence. People could sound similar. Maybe I was just sleep, deprived, and paranoid. But Monday morning, I walked into homeroom on a mission. Noel was in his usual spot, reading. I marched straight to his desk and slammed my hands down on either side of his book. He looked up slowly, those purple eyes meeting mine with mild curiosity. Can I help you? Do you game? I asked bluntly. Something flickered across his expression, so fast I almost missed it. Sometimes. Why? What games? Various ones. His tone was perfectly neutral, but his fingers had tensed slightly on his book. Is there a point to this interrogation? I leaned closer, lowering my voice. Do you know who Reaper is? There, his left eye twitched, just barely, but I caught it. The player? He closed his book calmly. I've heard of them, very skilled, from what I understand. You've heard of them, I repeated flatly. That is all. That is all. He met my gaze evenly. Now if you'll excuse me. Your voice, I interrupted. It sounds exactly like Reaper's. Noel went very still. For a long moment, we just stared at each other. The classroom chatter faded into white noise. Finally, he sighed. Bathroom. 5 minutes. He stood and walked out. I waited exactly 4 minutes before following. The bathroom was empty except for Noel, who was leaning against the sink with his arms crossed. The moment I entered, he spoke. Yes, I am Reaper. His voice was flat. And before you ask, yes, I know who you are, Phoenix. I've known since the first time you tried to talk to me. My mind went blank. You, what? You are not exactly subtle, Kai. Red hair, green eyes, constantly talking about your stream. You use the same gamer tag as your stream name. He pushed off the sink, walking toward me. Did you really think I wouldn't make the connection? But you never said anything. I sputtered. You just ignored me. Because I wanted to keep my online and offline lives separate. He stopped in front of me, and I realized he was taller than I, he thought. Gaming is where I can be different myself. Here, I just want to be left alone. Different how? I asked, genuinely confused. You are an asshole online and silent here. Which one is the real you? A ghost of a smile crossed his face. Both. Neither. Does it matter? Yes. I threw my hands up. You, been destroying me in game for months. You mock me, you taunt me. You make my chat think I am trash. And this whole time, you've been sitting in the back of my classroom, pretending I don't exist. I don't pretend you don't exist. His purple eyes fixed on mine, intense. I am very aware you exist. Something in his tone made my cheeks heat. What is that supposed to mean? It means exactly what it sounds like. He turned away, heading for the door. Congratulations on figuring it out. Now please, keep it to yourself. I don't need people knowing. Wait, I grabbed his arm. He stopped, looking down at where my fingers wrapped around his sleeve. I want to understand. Why are you so different online? And why did you never tell me? Noel was quiet for a long moment. Then, carefully, he pulled his arm free. Because online, nobody knows me. Nobody has expectations. I can be as competitive, as aggressive, as arrogant as I want. And it does matter. There are no consequences. He met my eyes again. Here, everyone expects me to be the quiet transfer student, the smart kid who keeps to himself. It is easier that way. But that is not who you really are, I said softly. Isn't it? He tilted his head. Maybe I am both. Maybe neither version is complete without the other. I didn't know what to say to that. Please don't tell anyone, he repeated, his voice softer now. I am trusting you with this. And then he was gone, leaving me standing alone in an empty bathroom, my head spinning. I could focus for the rest of the day. Every time I glanced at Noel, I saw Reaper, the cocky player who, been my rival, my nemesis, my obsession, was sitting 20 feet away, calmly taking notes on calculus. It was surreal. That evening, I started my stream, as usual, but when I queued up for ranked, my heart wasn't in it. Chat, I need your honest opinion, I said, leaning back in my chair. If someone you knew online turned out to be completely different in person, would you feel? I don't know. Betrayed, confused. The chat had opinions, boy. Did they have opinions? Elmamo, is this about Reaper? Did you find out who he is? Kai, what happened? Plot twist. Reaper is your teacher. I laughed. But it felt hollow. No. Just a hypothetical. I am just thinking about online personas versus real life, you know. But I could to stop thinking about it, about him. Over the next week, I found myself watching Noel more carefully, looking for glimpses of Reaper in his quiet demeanor. Sometimes I catch it, a flash of amusement when someone said something stupid, a calculating look when the teacher posed a difficult question, the confident way he moved despite his withdrawn nature. And sometimes I catch him watching me too. It was driving me crazy. Friday afternoon, I cornered him after class. We need to talk. Noel raised an eyebrow. Again, roof, now. To my surprise, he followed without argument. The school roof was technically off limits, but the door was always unlocked. We emerged into the golden afternoon light, the city sprawling below us. Well, Noel leaned against the railing, looking at me expectantly. What did you want to talk about? I can't. T stopped thinking about it, I admitted. About you being Reaper. It is messing with my head. Why? He seemed genuinely curious. Does it matter who I am offline? Yes, because I struggled for words. Because you've had this huge presence in my life for months. You've challenged me, pushed me, made me want to be better. And I thought you were just some random player, but you are not. You are. I am what? He turned to face me fully. You are someone I see every day. I ran my fingers through my hair, frustrated. You are someone I tried to be friends with, and you completely shut me down. And now I find out you've been paying attention to me this whole time, just in a different way. Noel was quiet for a moment. Then, did it ever occur to you that maybe I shut you down because I was paying attention? I blinked. What? You are loud, Kai. Bright. You light up every room you enter. Everyone gravitates toward you. His purple eyes seemed darker in the fading sunlight. I knew if I let you in, even a little, I wouldn't be able to maintain my distance, so I kept you away. My heart was pounding, but you didn't. Keep me away online. Online was different. Online, I could interact with you without risking anything real. A bitter smile crossed his face, or so I thought. What changed? You figured it out. He shrugged. Now you know both sides, and you are here, demanding answers, refusing to let me hide. Very on brand for you. I stepped closer. So stop hiding, Kai. No, seriously, stop. I was close enough to see the faint shadows under his eyes, the way his jaw tensed. You said gaming is where you can be yourself. Fine, but why can't you be yourself here too? With me? Because it is complicated. So uncomplicated. My voice rose. Just be honest. Why did you become my rival in game? Why spend months fighting me instead of, I don't to know literally anything else? Noel, his expression shifted, something raw and vulnerable flashing across his features. You really want to know? Yes, fine. He pushed off the railing, suddenly moving into my space. I backed up instinctively, but he kept coming until my back hit the wall. His hands slammed on either side of my head, caging me in. I did it because it was the only way I could have your attention. I stared up at him, my breath catching. This close, I could see the slight tremor in his hands, the intensity in his eyes. This was Reaper, not the quiet student, but the fierce competitor who dominated me for months. What are you talking about? I whispered. I started watching your streams 6 months ago, he said, his voice low. Completely by accident. I was looking up gameplay tutorials and found one of your videos. You were so vibrant, funny, passionate. I couldn't stop watching. My cheeks burned. Noel. Then I found out you played ranked, so I started queuing at the same times as you, trying to get matched with you. His laugh was self-deprecating. Do you know how pathetic that is? Manipulating matchmaking just to be in the same game as someone? You did that? My voice came out breathier than I intended. For weeks, and when I finally got matched against you, I panicked. I didn't know what to do, how to act. So I antagonized you, challenged you, made you notice me the only way I knew how. He leaned closer, his breath warm against my ear. Every insult, every taunt, every kill. It was all just me, desperately trying to make you see me. My mind was reeling. But then you transferred here. Not a coincidence. He pulled back slightly to meet my eyes. My family moved for work. When I found out I'd be going to your school, I was terrified and thrilled in equal measure. I thought maybe, finally, I could talk to you properly. But then I saw you in person, surrounded by friends so effortlessly charming. And you chickened out, I finished. I panicked, he corrected, because online, I could be confident. I could hide behind an avatar and a screen name. But in person, I am just the quiet transfer student who does know how to talk to the boy he has been obsessed with for 6 months. Silence fell between us. My heart was hammering so hard, I was sure he could hear it. So all this time, I said slowly, you've been, what, pining for me? God, you make it sound so pathetic when you say it like that. But there was a hint of amusement in his voice now. It is kind of pathetic, I agreed. Then, gathering my courage, I looked up at him through my lashes. But it is also kind of hot. Noel went very still. What? My mysterious gaming rival turns out to be the hot, quiet guy in my class who has apparently been obsessed with me. That is like straight out of a romance novel. I was babbling now, nervous, and honestly, I might have noticed you two, a little, maybe more than a little. You noticed me? He sounded skeptical. Dude, you have purple eyes and you sit alone reading books like some kind of dark academia protagonist. Of course I noticed. I bit my lip. I just thought you weren't interested in anything, anyone. I am interested, he said quietly. Very interested in you. Only you. The intensity in his gaze made my knees weak. No. Do you know how hard it has been? His voice was rough now. Watching you every day, knowing I can. T touch you, can T talk to you? Can T tell you that every time you smile at someone else, I want to? He cut himself off, jaw clenching. Want to what? I challenged. His eyes dropped to my lips. Things I shouldn't want. Maybe I want them too, I whispered. The air between us crackled with tension. Noel. Sand came up, fingers ghosting along my jaw. Kai, if you are messing with me, I am not. I tilted my face into his touch. I am really, really not. He studied me for a long moment, searching for something in my expression. Whatever he found made his resolve crumble. Fuck it, he muttered, and then his lips were on mine. The kiss was electric, desperate. Months of tension exploding in a single moment. His hand slid into my hair, tilting my head back as he deepened the kiss. I gasped against his mouth, my hands fisting in his shirt, pulling him closer. This was nothing like the Noel who sat quietly in class. This was Reaper, aggressive, dominant, claiming what he wanted. And what he wanted was me. When we finally broke apart, both breathing hard, I could help but laugh. So this is what you are like when you stop holding back. You have no idea, he murmured against my neck, making me shiver. I've been holding back for so long, Kai, watching you, wanting you, imagining. Imagining what? I was practically purring now, emboldened by his confession. He pulled back to look at me, and the heat in his eyes made my stomach flip. Everything, every possible way I could have you, make you mine, show everyone that you are. He stopped, looking almost embarrassed. That I am yours? I finished, grinning, because I could be, if you asked nicely. I don't to anything nicely, but there was a smile playing at his lips now. You should know that by now. True. You've kicked my ass in game enough times for me to know you are ruthless. I looped my arms around his neck. So, are you going to ask? Or do I have to do everything myself? Noel. His expression softened into something tender, vulnerable. Be mine, Kai. In game, in person, everywhere. Well, when you put it like that, I pretended to think about it, earning a warning look. Yes, obviously, yes, on one condition. What condition? We become a duo. No more rivals. We a team now. I poked his chest. Think you can handle having me as your permanent partner instead of your opponent? His smile was radiant. The first real smile seen from him. It transformed his entire face. I've been waiting for you to be my partner since the day I first saw you. Trust me, I can handle it. Good. I pulled him down for another kiss, softer this time. Sweet, because you are stuck with me now, Reaper. Wouldn't to have it any other way, Phoenix. The fallout from our relationship was interesting. At school, people were shocked to see quiet Noel Graves holding hands with loud Kai Rivers. Mika nearly choked on her lunch when she saw us together on Monday. What? She screamed. When did this happen? Friday, I said cheerfully, leaning into Noel. S sighed. He had his arm around my shoulders, looking far more relaxed than he ever had before. Turns out he is not boring at all. Just shy. I am not shy, Noel muttered. I am selective. You are shy, I corrected, kissing his cheek. But it is cute. The look he gave me promised retribution later. I could wait. But the real chaos came when we announced our duo partnership on stream. I planned it carefully. Noel had finally agreed to show his face online, though he was nervous about it. We set up a dual stream for the following Saturday. Both of us streaming from my room, side by side. When I went live, the chat immediately exploded. Kai has someone with him? Who is that? OMG, is that your boyfriend? Chat, calm down, I said, grinning at the camera. I have a very special announcement today. You know my eternal rival, Reaper? The chat went wild. Reaper? Are you finally going to fight him? IRL? Reaper face reveal? Well, I turned to Noel, who was sitting beside me, looking uncomfortable but determined. Reaper would like to say hello. Noel leaned into frame, and I watched my viewer count spike by thousands in seconds. Hi, he said simply, his voice carrying that same confident tone he used in game. I am Reaper. And before you ask, yes, Phoenix and I are dating. No, I won. Go easy on him in game. And yes, we reforming a permanent duo. The chat became completely unintelligible. What, OMG they? Redating. This is the best thing ever. Enemies to lovers IRL. I knew it, there was always tension. I laughed, reading the messages. See, I told you they love it. You told me they lose their minds, Noel corrected. Same thing. We played for hours that night, and it was like magic. All the tension from our rivalry transformed into perfect synchronization. We read each other, S movements instinctively, covered each other, S weaknesses, and absolutely dominated every match. The chat kept commenting on how natural we were together, how we seemed to communicate without even speaking sometimes. If they only knew how many hours we spent fighting each other, learning each other, as patterns, obsessing over each other, as gameplay. Okay, one more match, I announced around midnight. And this one, special, Noel and I are going to take on any duo in chat who thinks they can beat us. Winner gets a month of free subs. We played 5 matches, won all 5. On the last one, after a particularly spectacular team kill, Noel turned to me and kissed me right there on stream. The chat exploded so hard I thought my computer might crash. When we finally ended stream, I was grinning so hard my face hurt. That was amazing. You are amazing, Noel said, pulling me into his lap. Thank you for being patient with me, for not giving up. Thank you for being obsessed with me for 6 months. I teased. Very flattering, really. I'm going to be obsessed with you for a lot longer than 6 months, he promised, nuzzling into my neck. I shivered. Good, because I am pretty obsessed with you too now. Both versions of you. There is only one version, he murmured. I am just more myself when I am with you, online or offline. My heart melted. Sap. You're sap. Damn right. 3 months later, we won the winter tournament together. The prize was significant, enough to help with college funds, but the real reward was standing on that virtual podium together. Our names linked as the championship duo. In our acceptance speech, delivered via stream, Noel actually thanked me. Phoenix pushed me to be better, he said, his hand finding mine off. Camera, as a rival, as a partner, and as everything else. This win is as much his as it is mine. I squeezed his hand, grinning at the camera. And Reaper taught me that the best relationships are the ones where you challenge each other, where you make each other stronger. Even if he did kick my ass for 3 months, straight before admitting he liked me. You are never going to let me live that down, are you? Never. After the stream ended, we celebrated the way we always did, curled up together, talking about everything and nothing. Noel had his head in my lap, and I was absently playing with his hair. Hey, I said softly, remember when you said gaming was where you could be yourself? Do you still feel that way, now that everyone knows? He was quiet for a moment, thinking. Then he rolled over to look up at me, those purple eyes soft. Number now I can be myself everywhere, because I have you. Sap, I accused, but my voice was thick with emotion. You're sap, he repeated, echoing our earlier exchange. I leaned down to kiss him, slow and sweet. Always. Always. Outside, the city lights twinkled. Inside, wrapped up in each other. We were exactly where we were supposed to be. Gaming rival, classmate, boyfriend, partner. In the end, the labels didn't matter. What mattered was that we defound each other across digital battlefields and quiet classrooms through rivalry and revelation. And now, whether online or offline, in game or in real life, we were unbeatable together.